Attention A1 Trading Show fans. If you're looking to get funded, we've got a solution for you. Our partnered prop firm FX2 Funding helps traders get access to up to $200,000 in trading capital. FX2 Funding is not your average prop firm. We've chosen them as our partner because of their fair examination rules, their professional and available customer service, and they have an outstanding reputation in the prop firm space. Here's a quick look at their evaluation process. First, they don't have a time limit on their evaluations. That means that you can take your time when passing your evaluation. There's no pressure to rush your trading. Second, there is only one phase to pass in their evaluation before getting access to your funded account. Also, their evaluation fees are fairly priced and fully refundable upon passing. Once you're funded, you'll be able to keep up to 85% of your trading profits. Finally, a rule we know swing traders will love: you can hold your positions over the weekend. For a limited time, get 15% off any of their account challenges with promo code A1Trading15. That's 15% off any account challenge with code A1Trading15. If you're ready to get funded, we're dropping a link in the chat right now, and you can also find it in the description down below. So go ahead and get signed up today for 15% off with promo code A1Trading15. Now, back to the show.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another live stream here in the markets for what is probably shaping up to be one of the most volatile days in recent market history. We do, of course, have the Jackson Hole Symposium where Jerome Powell will be making some comments that will likely shake the markets. Now the question is, are they going to shake up? Are they going to shake down? Are they going to shake you? Are they going to shake me? We're going to figure it all out here together. Thank you for being back with me on another show. And as we get started here, do me a quick favor. Can you guys, there's 300 of you guys. There's people flooding in right now. Can you do me just a quick favor and hit that thumbs up button as we get into today's show? We are here ready in the office for, of course, this speech here. Now, am I going to pull up the speech and watch and listen to it? I might. But I think I'm going to focus a little bit more on the charts today and watch the reaction, kind of going a little bit more off price action today than perhaps, just listening to the speech, because I would like to get some coverage from the speech. So I've requested that my team here come in just in a bit to give us some show notes, basically some highlights from the stream, from the speech. But of course, Jerome Powell is stepping up to the stand in just moments from now. I'm going to ask for the regulars in the chat. If you are somebody who is a regular viewer here, if you want to share, help us out on the show today by sharing updates in the chat with us, you would be my hero, and I would really appreciate that. Let us know if you see something notable from the speech, something hit the floor. We're going to be reacting again to the charts. I want to start out with the dollar here this morning, guys. Dollar index shooting down. 15-minute charts are being pulled up here. You can see the dollar index, 103.95 printing. Take a look at the hourly with me, and you can see I've got a little bit of incoming on the screen, right? Do certainly have something coming here. We'll see if this dollar weakness is going to come in. Again, speech is just getting warmed up, though. We have not really jumped into things. And yeah, we'll see how this all plays out. First of all, let's take a look at the dollar index from a higher time frame. Take a look at the 4-hour chart with me. It's still in an upward trend, okay? So with the upward trend narrative in play, right, the question will be today for bulls, is there going to be a pullback opportunity, or is this thing just going to explode higher, right? In my personal opinion, if you're a dollar bull, you probably got to wait for pullbacks, right? If you're in a trade, congrats. If you're short the euro, if you're short the pound, if you're long dollar yen, if you're long, dollar Swiss, dollar CAD, you probably had a nice run here this morning. But now coming into it, again, this is the 4-hour chart. We could see a big push lower as we speak, 103.8 on the dollar index. Like I said, I think dollar is still strong overall. And I do expect probably from Jerome Powell that we're going to just hear defensive language, right? We're going to probably hear him as he usually will do, kind of be cautious, say inflation's not beaten yet and all these sorts of things. I think what would be very interesting is see how the market is interpreting all of what he has to say. So again, please feel free to share stuff in the chat as we find it. Again, let's take a quick look at dollar CAD. Dollar CAD shot up here, reached a level of resistance. If you're watching dollar CAD here today, again, nice upward trend. The question will be for the bulls, if you're watching dollar CAD with me, guys, can we break out, right? Question is, in order for bulls to kind of take another leg higher, we need that breakout. And that is, of course, what we're watching. If you're watching dollar CAD, that is one chart to keep an eye on. Euro USD is another one, of course. Take a look at the euro with me. Nice downward trend overall. Price pulling back up into what I would say is probably a 1 hour chart sweet spot. At least if you're a trend line person, right? Draw your trend lines here. And what you can see is that the euro is tagging kind of this downward structure, challenging to see if it wants to break higher or if this thing is going to roll over. Again, dollar strength is still overall the story recently, with yields creeping higher and fears that interest rates and real rates will stay elevated for a prolonged period of time. So fundamentals, I think in the short term, have lended a strong helping hand to the dollar index. We've got Ivan in the chat. I know Ivan is interested in yen pairs. So speaking of yen pairs, here's UJ. I know, Ivan, you're not a big UJ guy, but I'll take a quick look at UJ because it is a pair that I like. Here is the 4 hour chart on this one. Kind of a little downward structure here. And again, if yen weakness is going to come play ball, what that's probably going to mean for dollar yen would be a possible break higher. So again, we're watching this area. Again, this downward structure. If you're a dollar yen bull, you probably want to see something like this. If you're a dollar yen bear, then again, you're fighting kind of a uphill battle. Trend has been to the upside. A little bit of resistance here this morning. Sellers may take a turn here, right? They may take an opportunity to push this thing lower in the short term. The question will be, though, will it get the momentum it needs to potentially break through the highs and keep going? Again, waiting for confirmation, waiting for a solid candle to form. As the speech is probably getting underway now, we should start to see some volatility. Euro yen also, just while we're on the topic of yen pairs, euro yen here, 4 hour chart. If you drop it down to the 1 hour, I think it could actually be more interesting. Take a look at this level of resistance that we're tagging right now. Can we actually break this structure here, right? You've got a previous high to get through before I think sellers, kind of roll over and buyers are able to push this thing up again. We've had this kind of downward structure, but we are testing this on the 1 hour chart. Again, looking for something like this on euro yen, right? Breaks and retests, possibly could be interested. You guys probably want to know what I'm looking at. I am looking at NASDAQ. I'm currently long NASDAQ here this morning. And we'll see if that one can play nicely. It's been moving kind of sideways up and down here. And again, CNBC, Fed Chair Powell calls inflation too high and warns that they're prepared to raise rates further, right? So kind of as expected, although the raising rates part, that's strong. Those are fighting words here for dollar bulls. SPX 500 selling off initially. DXY also, look at that, snapping back as one might expect after a comment like that. S&P rolling over a little bit. NASDAQ, dollar index here, showing some signs of life. Again, you've got a support level here. Big wick off the bottom. Is the dollar index going to just push back up, or is it going to break underneath here? And again, remember, first reaction, in my opinion, dollar has been short-term bullish. It doesn't mean the indices can't also be bullish, but right now I would say dollar strength is still kind of very upon us. We'll have to watch to see how this is at. Fed's Powell sees July PCE at 3.3%, core at 4.3%. We intend to hold rates at restrictive levels until confident inflation is moving sustainably down to 2%. Is the news hawkish? Again, it's usually on the side of hawkish. Jerome Powell generally is a defensive kind of guy when he's giving these speeches, as he has to be. If you were in his role, you probably would be as well, right? You can't be wheeling and dealing if you're in such a powerful position, because again, you have to be kind of on the side of caution. Dollar index making a little bit of a push here. Dollar yen probably liking this. Dollar yen, again, retesting this kind of downward structure that we just talked about briefly. Gold, we haven't even talked about gold. Let's pull up gold here and see what's going on with the old XAU. Gold here, mixed reaction so far. Again, waiting for some further I guess, decision here on gold. If you're looking at the 1 hour chart, it's been a bit range bound here. So here's the 1 hour chart, support zone there, resistance here. If you're watching gold, guys, if you're looking for, when I say decisive candles, is this bullish, is this bearish? We don't know yet, right? We're waiting for candles to start forming and showing some directional bias. If this thing breaks lower, we get something like this and we close outside of this consolidation zone, I wouldn't be surprised to see sellers take it for the rest of the day, right? Pullbacks, sells, right? That would be how I would personally look at gold. I may actually, even if that sort of thing were to occur, I could see myself looking for a short trade on gold, but we're in consolidation. We don't know where this thing is going right now. The question would be, can we get the breakout to the upside? The other scenario, short-term bulls, can they take advantage if we are able to break through the previous highs and possibly look for an opportunity there? Again, volatility is expected to be high throughout the stream. And so if you guys are enjoying this, and if this is helpful to you in any way, again, I think gold, probably no trades right now, looking for a breakout either direction. If you guys are enjoying the stream, do me a quick favor and hit that thumbs up button. It really would help us out just to get more people in here for the stream. And yeah, let's keep going. So S&P 500 rebounding a little bit, NASDAQ rebounding as well. US 30 here, not so much. Euro USD here, pushing back higher again, trying to make another push. And what I will say, early warning sign for Euro bears here. Look at this. Support should have held as resistance. It hasn't yet, right? This is, I would say, tentatively a bullish reaction so far, but the candle's not closed. This is an hourly chart, right? We still have time on this candle. If this thing closes like this, right, I would say that that is very bearish and that we could probably see the euro roll over from there. But if we see the candle kind of fill this wick out and close up, hey, you know, sellers were beaten at their own game. Sellers should be holding this zone. If you're watching the euro, right, sellers should be holding this area. If you're a seller on the euro, you probably want to see this area really start to give way to some bigger push to the downside. And if it doesn't happen, again, be very careful on that. Pound USD looking like a good setup if the resistance zone holds. Let's take a look at the pound, see what's going on there. I'm going to pull up GBP USD, see what's going on there. And again, guys, I should warn, we are calling out trades that we're taking right now inside of our Discord channel. If you're not in the VIP and you would like to join let's drop the talk to link really quick. If you guys want to see trade alerts being shared, again, I went long NASDAQ this morning. We are slightly in profit on that one. Actually, probably doing pretty good now. Yeah, NASDAQ is nicely in profit. Trade alerts are being shared right now and throughout the remainder of the day. If you guys would like to get access to those alerts sent directly to your phone or to your desktop, click this link right now. You can join us while we're on this live. I've got some support reps here in the office who can set you up with a membership. If you want memberships, they are currently discounted if you message us. So again, click that link in the chat and you can be connected to somebody on our team to sign up and get the trade alert sent to you. Look at this wick, guys. Gold is crazy right now. 1922 getting rejected immediately after being tagged. Sellers pushing this guy back down. And again, guys, if you are listening to the report, please share with us, and I'm going to try and just pull up your comments. Market is already hawkish. Exactly. Dollar will only rise if Powell says something new and more hawkish. Yes, exactly. If Jerome Powell comes out and says, yeah, inflation is still a problem, that's not going to drive the dollar higher. What's going to drive the dollar higher is if Jerome Powell comes out and he says, we don't feel like the things that we're doing are stopping inflation and that it's going to persist very, very aggressively. That drives the dollar higher, right? That's two different sides to the coin. If they just say, hey, we still got this problem we're dealing with, that's not very exciting to the market. The market knows that already, right? The market's pretty dang smart. That's why it's very hard to be a profitable trader. And that is why, you know, the most profitable traders out there dedicate, you know, several years before they get there. Look at this, guys. Gold trying. Gold is pushing back up. Here's a 2-hour chart. Resistance still overhead. But if price is able to poke through that, gold may have a little bit of a room to squeeze higher as we get into everything Jerome Powell is saying here. Again, it should be a volatile day throughout. I also do want to remind you guys, we do these event streams all the time. If you're enjoying this and you're newer to the show, First of all, say hello in the chat. It's nice to meet you. Nice to have you here. We do these events all the time. In just a little bit, we're going to have some guests join me to go over all of this news event. If you guys would like to join into some of this action on a regular basis, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. And I I follow a YouTuber and he always says, I hope to earn your subscription today. And he has a long beard and I love that saying. So I hope to earn your subscription today, although I do not have a long beard and I can't even grow that much facial hair. So yeah, it's a transparent channel. Okay. I can tell you that I can't grow facial hair. It is what it is. I've got a very Eastern European, ethnicity. So I'm working against me in a little ways. Anyways, yeah, look at this. NASDAQ still staying strong. I am currently long. I got to see how we're doing on this one. Look at that. We're up $1,000 on NASDAQ. Here's my position. Picked it up this morning. Look at this entry. Holy crap. That was better than I thought it was going to be. I picked up NASDAQ, called this one out in the group. Again, I'm not making this up. Here was the trade. Called this one out to members this morning, just about an hour ago. We're still in this trade, riding this one. We're up $1,100 on this one. This is a really nice mover, a real nice snap off the level that we found in the group. And again, remember, guys, if you do want access to the trade alerts, the link is being dropped once more in the chat. Please feel free to join us inside of the group if you would like to. There is a fee to join, but I'm telling you, if you're serious about this stuff and you're looking to learn, come trade with us. It is worth every penny. You're going to learn so much by working with myself and my colleague Frank, as well as Ivan, who does our coaching webinars. We put out a ton of great value. If you're looking to learn and if you're looking to see the trades being taken throughout the week, please join us inside of the Discord using the link that just got dropped in the chat for you. You'll be connected to a support rep who can help you out. Up $5,200 on the day between everything in my account. That's not bad. $5,600 on the day. That's I'd say it's a good start to the Friday. Now, context, let me be honest. Yesterday was a tough day, right? Yesterday, the stock market sold off and I was long. So that one I took an L yesterday. So we're not out here taking wins only. And I don't want to sound like I'm coming across that way, but this is a really nice move here. Nice push to the upside and looking like we're going to crack 15,000 on the NASDAQ. Love to see that. Ivan is a fantastic mentor, if he will say so himself. he certainly is, though. Great value on his webinars. If you guys are in the group and you join his webinars, you know what I'm talking about. Also, you might have just asked, Nick, why did you just move your take profit? I don't have an actual take profit on my trade. I'm just using the trading view indicator to track the P&L at this point. Wow, we are up. What is this? What is this risk to reward right now? It's like almost a 4-to-1 already on this trade. Not bad. Again, I trail stops. So if I trail a stop, you guys will see it inside of the group. I am watching for that. And let's go back to gold, guys. Another interesting setup. Look at this gold breaking out here. Looks increasingly likely. Whatever the big man is saying. Also notice, guys, we added some feature to the EDGEFINDER that I think EDGEFINDER users, you might really like this. So we actually added score over time. So you can see the white line is the historical price of gold, and the blue and red columns are the signals that were generated by the EDGEFINDER. So you can see that gold actually perked up yesterday and went from a -4 to a -2. So that is no longer a super bearish reading. Now things have kind of peaked back into -3 today, but if you had avoided yesterday, that would have been nice because it was a nice up day for gold. And the signal, again, this thing has been pretty bearish since around the beginning of August. So if you've been short on gold, it's been a nice ride down. Look at that. Oh, snapped right back there at resistance, guys. Gold is not playing. It's playing hard to get right now. If you're watching gold, again, huge levels of resistance coming in. And yet again, another spike off the highs. Gold is going to, I'm telling you guys, if this thing breaks solidly above that, it's a very big deal. How many times have we just watched this together where price is coming up? Let's look at the 1-minute chart. Look at this, guys. 1-2 times in the last 10-15 minutes where gold has popped up to this area and immediately seen stark rejection off of these highs. Now, the reason I point that out is that if this level were to break out, it's huge because sellers would be beaten at a game that they've won twice before, right? It's like when you play video games with your little brother and you beat him over and over and over. And the day he finally beats you, it's like that was such a crazy upset and it's so embarrassing for you, and you cry and you feel terrible, and it's the biggest defeat ever, right? Like that's what gold is doing right now. We're rejecting off those highs, but the question will be if it can actually get a solid breakout. Again, the news is coming in right now. We're hearing the speech from Jerome Powell. I'm not pulling it up on the stream. I'm just watching the charts here today. If you guys, again, have updates for me on that front, please feel free to share. And in just a few moments, I'm going to be having my some team members on my staff here are going to come in, join us, and give us some updates on what really was said to really move the markets. I wish to get into the group. I think gold might get back to 1930 level for resistance. Nirvana and anyone else who would like to join us, again, please message us. If you would like to join the Discord channel, there is a fee associated, but it is quite worth the fee. I'm telling you, it is a very quality group of people. If you would like to join that, please send us a direct message right here. It's in the chat as we speak. And if you're watching this back at a later time, it's in the description. Look at that gold move, guys. That is a massive rejection. Something tells me the dollar just flew higher. Yeah, look at that. Sold off, came right back. This is a very long wick on the bottom here for the dollar index. Again, the candle is still young. We still have 40 minutes left. A lot was said, but essentially Fed said that central bank is prepared to raise rates further if needed. Okay, so I would say that that is pretty much as expected, right? That's kind of what was expected to be. Jerome Powell said the U.S. central bank is prepared to raise interest rates further if needed and intends to keep borrowing costs high until inflation is on a convincing path towards the Fed's 2% target. Mighty King, thank you very much for that update. And thanks to everybody who is giving us the updates on that. So, yeah, it does sound kind of like a standard response from Jerome Powell. My NASDAQ trade has given back some of its gains there, but we're still in nice profit here so far. Definitely no longer up about 1,000, probably up about 400. Let's check. Pull this one up. There it is. Look at the volatility here today, guys. Yep, up 320 on the NASDAQ trade. I've got my stop loss in place, so I know what I'm going to do. If the market does kind of fall apart here, I will be out for a loss if necessary. Pound USD flipping. Yeah, look at this 4-hour chart, guys. Resistance came back into play. Let's tighten this chart up. This is an ugly chart. Let's fix it. So broke through support that we actually marked out yesterday. Pound USD struggling to catch any bid here. A little bit of buys off the bottom, but again, resistance is overhead. And the question will be if pound bears are able to kind of hold this level, or if it's going to break out. Again, watch the 1-hour chart. This candle is so hard to trade on that you'll notice I'm not taking trades as the news is being released, right? Because I am waiting for some sign of confirmation. If things end out very negative, pessimistic, I've got a NASDAQ trade from this morning that I'll stop out on. But I'm not going to take trades intra-candle. I'm going to wait for kind of things to settle and things to be said. Is the speech over, guys? Can you let me know if the speech is still going on, or if there's anything? Yeah. Okay, so yes, still watching the pound USD. Again, rejecting pretty hard off that. US 30, look at that. Bit of sell-off coming in on the Dow. S&P 500 staying flat on the day, seems like. Here's the daily candle. You can see just slightly up on the day. Silver, flat, gold. Wow, look at this, guys. Now we have to reverse the situation. Trade smart money concepts, and you know exactly where the market is going. I'm sorry, but that is not the case. That is not the case. Smart money concepts, any trading strategy does not tell you exactly what the market's going to do. Can it help you find better trades? Absolutely. Any strategy that you backtested can, but there is no secret magical strategy to knowing what the market's going to do next. And you know what the magic strategy is? Do you want to know what the real smart money concepts is? It's insider trading, which is illegal, but that's that's the way to print money from the markets with certainty, right? If you knew what NFP was going to be, if you knew, that would be, and do people do that? Probably. People get caught for it all the time. So, and I'm talking about like executives and high up people, but of course, we're retail traders here. All of us, every single person who trades on a retail brokerage is a retail trader, and that's okay. Retail traders can make money, but it's a lot harder if you're not cheating, right? Cheating is the way to know with certainty what the market's going to do. Everybody else, educated guesses. Dollar yen. Yeah, let's look at that. Dollar yen flying high. Wow, dollar yen with the breakout here higher. 1 hour chart looks really strong. Look at this. Big push off of this support zone, 145.9. It's a bit early to tell, but if the dollar yen is able to break decisively, something like this, could be some momentum trades there. Something like that could be really interesting. We've got, at this point, we've got 575 people. If you're enjoying the stream, do me a quick favor, smash that thumbs up button. We're watching a lot of candles here. Watching how they close, notably. The NASDAQ trade I'm in, still slightly in profit, but giving back a lot of the gains. Does seem like there's been some mixed sentiment. There was initially a pop to the upside, and now back the other way we go. Dow is down pretty big. Euro USD. Look at this, rejecting off of the trend line almost perfectly that we drew earlier. Let me show you this. Really, really strong sell. The dollar is coming in hot here. Take a look at dollar CAD. Was dollar CAD able to break that high? It certainly was. Look at this. Dollar CAD came in strong. Now this area, what was resistance, potentially looking really interesting. Oh yeah, look at this, guys. Dollar CAD, I think, is a strong buy. It was a strong buy this morning on the EDGEFINDER. Let's see if dollar CAD is still the case. There it is. Yep. Very bullish. +6. Dollar CAD. Dollar CAD might be an interesting pullback play here today. I'm watching dollar CAD as a possible look at that strength. Something must have been said. Some difference here in what was expected. Let me see real quick. Okay, yeah, interesting. So here, guys, in just a second, we are going to have some commentary come in from the team. And look at this. We're going to have updates for you coming. If you're wondering what just happened, why the market is moving the way it's moving, we've got some help is on the way between Frank and James. I think we're going to get some coverage, which should be really good. Yeah, look at this, guys. Big break to the downside there. Now gold looking almost decisively bearish. I would say not quite, though, right? We've got to see this thing, how this closes. We've got 30 minutes left on this candle. Big support levels are still below. And remember how strong we saw sellers up here. Are buyers going to give a similar reaction? Are we going to see a bounce on the gold market? Again, don't be deceived. The market move, the first direction was up, second move was down. I would say what's really going to be meaningful is to see, in terms of price action wise, now that we've let some of the dust settle, it's still very volatile. A break of kind of like all the news volatility would probably be most interesting, like a big push. If this were to break lower, right, gold, I would say, would just look bearish on the day. But it depends, again, what was really said. It does seem like some hawkish narratives kind of came into play here today. Look at that dollar index, guys. Oh my goodness. 1 hour chart, incredibly strong bounce off of this 103.95 level. I'm not on the fundamentals. Can someone summarize the JP like a 5-year-old? Don't worry. We've got the updates coming to you in just a moment. We're going to have James and Frank help me out with that, with kind of what happened summarized for you. Stick around. If you're enjoying the stream and this stuff is helpful to you, please do me a quick favor and hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We work very, very hard to put on these shows and to make them helpful to traders who are looking to learn. So if you would do me just a quick solid and give me a thumbs up on the stream, it would really, really help us out. We would appreciate it. Yeah, look at this dollar strength. My goodness, gold is probably selling off decisively now. There we go. We're underneath the lows. NASDAQ still hanging in there somehow. Still positive on the day. Very interesting moves here out of the NASDAQ. S&P looking surprisingly more red than NASDAQ. And Dow getting beat up the most. Again, we're going to watch this hourly candle on gold, guys. Remember, the news candle is still happening. This thing could close back in the range, but it also could close decisively outside of the range, in which case I would say gold just looks straight bearish, in my opinion. All right, guys, we've got Frank. Maybe we'll bring Frank in, and then we'll let James. But before we do that, actually, let's do this real quick. Before we bring in Frank, we're just going to take a quick break to thank our sponsors making the streams possible, and we're going to come right back to gold after this, 1909 printing. So stick with me. We'll be right back with James, and then shortly after that, hopefully, Frank as well as James shortly after. So see you in just a second. We'll be right back.
Attention A1 Trading Show fans, if you're interested in getting free access to the EDGEFINDER or our premium trade alerts, listen up. For a limited time, our show's partnered broker 8cap is giving out free access to our products when you sign up for a new trading account with them. If you already have a broker, you may want to consider switching to 8cap because of their low trading costs, a wide range of trading assets, and their amazing customer support. If you'd like to get access to our software and Discord server for free, click the link being dropped in the chat right now and ask one of our team members for more information. Don't miss your chance for free products and an award-winning broker. Now back to the A1 Trading Show.
Hey, Frank, welcome back to the show. Oh my gosh, what's going on? And how are you?
I'm doing well. Yeah, so Powell's speech was short, but pretty much to the point. He was basically as hawkish as expected. Nothing new. He said he's going to keep that 2% inflation goal in mind, and they're going to keep rates at a restrictive rate until the job is done, is what they said, is what he said. And so as a result, I guess I took a trade on gold. I was watching the yields rise. Yeah, I got short at 1913, and
ooh, very nice.
I took it based off the yields. I was watching that more than the speech. We're looking at yields come up. First of all, break this high, this very strong supply zone, breaks higher today, nearing its. This is a very high level, like it hasn't been here in years, and so it's testing it, or it's coming up to test it again. I don't know if it will come all the way up, but today's swing up over 1% on the day is pretty strong. So higher yields is just a direct impact on gold in like the bearish way. So I took a short on gold, and I'm going to see where it goes.
Yeah, very nice. So you're short on gold partially due to to news of kind of a more hawkish Federal Reserve kind of narrative, I guess, just sticking true to the elevated rates until they see the interest rates or inflation come down. Where did you get? So what was the idea behind the gold short? Is it more of a swing trade, more of a short-term trade?
I guess we'll see. I might, after I get off, I might move to break even just because the swing was so heavy all at once, and the market, as we saw, just went straight up and down. So very volatile. It could come back up all the way to break even or even go higher for who knows why. But I'm just watching it for now and hopefully riding it down to the bottom again. At the 1880s level where it can test that. But today's candle it's very strongly bearish, and it's kind of breaking this sort of, I guess you could call it a flag pattern here, where you see a bullish move and then sort of a dip in price, and it looks like a flag or a small wedge, and then it comes back up again. But this just looks like it came right underneath that. And so hopefully price moves lower on the day, but we'll see.
Yep, fair enough. And I see James has joined the call. We can maybe bring James in and see if he has anything to share with us on the article news side. Hey, James, how's it going, man?
Hey, good. Yeah. So I was looking into it, and it's pretty straightforward. Jerome Powell said that rates need to go higher, and so that's exactly what's going to happen. He's continued to raise rates consistently for a while now, and for a while it was working, inching closer to that 2% inflation goal until our most recent CPI report, where the inflation rate actually raised for the first time in a long time. And the Fed wants to do something about that. So I have a few bullet points for you here. Number one being, like I just mentioned, a quote directly from Jerome Powell. It says, quote, "It is the Fed's job to bring inflation down to our 2% goal, and we will do so," end quote. So that was at the beginning of his statement there. Again, long-term 2% inflation goal. They believe that is a healthy level of inflation where it's not going to affect people too much, but still, having inflation at net zero is probably just unattainable in today's economy. We also have here that the Fed is prepared to raise interest rates further, like I just mentioned, if appropriate, which we know that there will definitely be interest rate raises coming, most likely as soon as our very next FOMC meeting, and then potentially after that one as well. And Powell indicated that the federal funds rate currently sits at a 22-year high. Yep. He also said that the war on inflation has a, quote, "long way to go with even more favorable recent readings," end quote. So this is something that we have been struggling with for 3 years, 4 years at this point. High inflation rates. It's nothing new. And it's not going away anytime soon either, especially not with that most recent CPI report, where, again, inflation did rise for the first time in a long time. And then as I'm sure you saw, stocks went ballistic after Powell started talking. The Dow, the S&P, and NASDAQ absolutely flew. I heard you talking about you caught a nice move on the NASDAQ. That was very nice by you. I'll just say this for the sake of our trading competition here. Powell was not very good to me today. It
was a tough day. I think the indices initially flew and now have given back a lot of those gains, but the dollar,
yes, mm-hmm.
The dollar is what is really taking a run to the upside here today. Again, James, if you heard Frank talking about this moments before you joined, he's short gold right now, which of course, strong dollar very much helps a gold short, as many people in the audience probably know that as well, right? As the dollar, of course, gold is quoted in dollars, so if the dollar is strengthening, gold is likely to take a hit. Not to mention the other thing, what we see here. Remember, for newer people in the audience, especially if you're newer to like fundamentals, remember Frank and I pull this chart up all the time, and what James is saying is really relevant to the 2-year chart. The 2-year yield chart shows us basically where projections are for future interest rate kind of levels. So this is looking out up way out and ahead of time and saying, well, the Fed seems very convinced that they're going to stick to keeping real interest rates elevated for a prolonged period of time in order to get that inflation problem under control. So them kind of just letting the hammer down here today is driving the yield curve higher. I'm sorry, the 2-year yield higher, which is also, of course, bringing the dollar up with it. So a little bit of fundamentals there for your day. And James and Frank, I want to thank you guys both for joining us on here. James, did you have something else you wanted to share?
Yeah, just really quickly, I also wanted to acknowledge that, say that Jerome Powell rather acknowledged that there has been a lot of positive progress made in terms of bringing the inflation rate down from what it has been. You know, his plan of interest rate hikes, whether people agree with it or not, has worked for the most part. So he did acknowledge the fact that progress has been made, but that there's still work to do. And then I'm going to end with this quote from him right here. This says, quote, "The lower monthly readings for core inflation in June and July were welcome, but 2 months of good data are only the beginning of what it will take to build confidence that inflation is moving down sustainably towards our goal." So I imagine there was a minute there where when we were getting closer and closer to 2%, people were talking about potentially lowering or pausing rate hikes, not now, but sometime in the near future. But I imagine that based off what he has said today, that we're going to see stuff very similar to what we've been seeing over the past 6 to 8 months or so. Most likely going to be 25 basis point rate hikes, slowly and steadily for probably a little bit longer than we had initially anticipated when inflation was dropping somewhat consistently.
Yep, very good. And again, thank you, James, for that update. For those of you guys in the audience, again, let's get some thanks, James, and thanks, Franks, in the chat for both of them coming on and just keeping us updated so that we kind of get a little bit of coverage on this stuff. Beyond just watching the charts, it's nice to know what was said and why it was said. So Frank, James, thank you both for joining me on the show today.
Sure. Thank you.
All right. And we're going to bring Kenzo in here in just a moment. Again, I just want to follow up also, guys, with what was just said about gold. Frank is short gold, and that dude caught the perfect spot. He is short as of the breakout. He caught the break on gold here. I think he said 1913, which is like way up here. So I'm going to go, you know what? Let's go spy on Frank's call out and see what it looks like. Yep, he was 1913. So he shorted gold, saying Powell's speech suggested a more restrictive policy going forward until the job is done, quote, referring to the 2% inflation target. Yields are up to near its highest point in years at over 5.07%. Stronger yields have a direct negative impact on the metals market, of course. So taking a short on gold here with stops above the highs. Love that trade from Frank. Again, we use a combination of technicals and fundamentals. You can't just, in my opinion, you got to understand what's happening in front of you. You can't just look at this chart and say, I know what's going to happen next, if you don't understand why is this thing dropping and is this drop likely to sustain itself. So Frank looked at this, he weighed the odds of a rising yield on the 2-year, and he picked up that short. So congrats to Frank on that. That's a beautiful sell. If you guys caught that with Frank, then congrats. And remember, guys, if you do not already have access to our trade alerts room, join us. It is currently discounted. If you message us, get in on the action, click this link. It's in the chat right now. If you join the Discord, you can join and get access to all of the trade alerts being shared. And you can sign up with our alerts by messaging us on our website right now for a significant discount here. We will be trading the rest of the day. With all of this volatility. It should be very, very interesting, to say the least. Now, guys, we're going to bring in Kenzo for a few minutes, talk to him about his reaction to everything happening here today. Big news spikes. So, hey, Kenzo, how's it going, man? Welcome back to the show.
I hope you're doing. I'm great, man. I hope you're doing great, man.
Doing great, and it's good to have you back on, Kenzo. So today, big news out of course, good old JP. Jerome Powell came out with some hawkish sounding language, definitely spooking the markets here a little bit. If you'd like to share your screen, I'd love to see what you're looking at here today. Again, I've got gold pulled up, which just completely fell out of the floor. What are you watching today?
Actually, I was on gold, USD and NASDAQ, but since Powell statements or speech, actually that is pushing the market to go lower as they actually still repeating the same thing that they can actually increase the rates. But I think that might not really push the market really far. But what I see is on US 30 and Nasdaq, we are very closer to the support areas. But if the market doesn't really break that, maybe we will see the market bouncing back. On gold, unfortunately, gold is very sensitive. So it seems like gold is gonna seriously go lower. But when I check on my 4 hours time frame, we're now breaking out of that uptrend. It's actually short-lived uptrend, but we might see a quick reversal. I think it wasn't that bearish because they've been talking about increasing the rates, and they said if maybe the data is not really that bad, they might think about pausing and not actually increasing. And if they increase, I think 25 basis point, I think that will be enough. And I don't think that will be crazy bad, you see.
Yeah, no, I think there's probably a fair point to be made that there might be some short-term overextension to the downside on some markets for sure. It does seem like they're kind of sticking true to their aim to get that inflation down, but it didn't seem like there was like a major change in expectations, right? It was kind of like we've expected the central bank to stay hawkish to keep that 2% inflation down, and or still headed down, right, moving in the right direction. We have seen some strength of the U.S. economy recently, so a little bit of perhaps added hawkishness coming out from that, right? Just a little bit of like, hey, you know what? If the GDP growth is so strong and PMI numbers aren't cracking and then the labor market is still strong, we may need to do a little bit more. So perhaps there's a little bit of that built in, but you've got NASDAQ pulled up. What's your thoughts on NASDAQ today?
Yes, on Nasdaq, I also think that maybe for now we oversold since yesterday. The market actually pushed lower. Today it was trying to push a little bit higher, but we have a nice support here, or maybe the market might respect this area if it keeps pushing lower. But we actually have some good news on Nasdaq. Nvidia performed very well, and that has a ripple effect on other tech companies like Microsoft and the other ones because they're going to adapt the AI thing. So unfortunately, Fed, they want to increase the rates, but I think that might be short-lived. Maybe for this week, or let's say maybe for today, the market might still respect this area and start to push the upside.
Yeah, no, I think NASDAQ, you made a good point there with the NVIDIA release that we had, of course, earlier in the week. Really helped out the NASDAQ specifically, right? A lot of the tech stocks around it rallied. NASDAQ saw a nice pump to the upside. But again, yesterday was a tough day on the NASDAQ, kind of following or looking towards today's outlook on Jerome Powell. But, I think one thing to make a bullish case on the NASDAQ too, Kenzo, with your thought there, is that yesterday the market sold off tremendously because it was fearful about what could be said today. So now that it has been said and it's selling off again, the question is, well, wasn't that already kind of sold off into yesterday? You know what I mean? So I kind of do like that upward trend that you've got drawn on the NASDAQ on the daily chart. It'll be interesting to see if it can catch a bid in that area.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking actually. Besides the news, I think we still might see the market respect this area and push up. So I understand that maybe the news might be really bad, but if you check this trend, it's like since February actually, let's say January, we had some increase of the rate, but still the market was still pushing the upside. So sometimes the market won't listen that much because if you check how many times they increased this year, and if you check this chart here is from January, so you will start to like, yes, they were increasing, But at the end of the day, the market was still pushing to the upside. This might happen maybe for today, tomorrow, but at the end of the day, beside the news, when we check the trend, it was actually reasonable for the market to reverse. It's been pushing up for quite some time, and the reversal might be a very good thing again. I think the market will end up bouncing back.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like your breakdown on that for sure, and will be very interesting to see how the market closes here on this hourly candle, on some of these hourly candles, but also, of course, on the day as well, right? You know, if we see some bounce back intraday, or if we get a push down to that trend line that you've got there, could be very interesting to see how it goes into next week. Today is, of course, Friday, so we're ahead of the weekend. But again, selling off into you know, the Friday trading action. So yeah.
Yes, also, yeah, I think this area can also be an area of a support, but we will see. I think this area has been respected several times. Maybe the market might think about respecting this area and pushing up. If we see a breakout, that will be a different story then.
Sure. Yeah, no, I think a good take on that, Kenzo, and thank you again for joining it at you know, this different than usual time. We do always appreciate having you on the show. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there, as I've got to jump off for previous arrangement here shortly. But Kenzo, I want to thank you for coming on, and I also want to say to everybody who's listening with us, can you guys do me a quick favor and make sure to go follow Kenzo on his YouTube channel, Extra Hot Forex, here on YouTube. You can find more content from him totally free. Highly recommend that you make sure to subscribe to him. Check him out there. And again, for more fundamental and technical analysis that he does share with his viewers. So Kenzo, thank you very much for coming on the show, and we will see you back next week, man.
Thank you very much, man.
All right, guys. Yes. And always make sure to check out our guests that we have on the show. It does, you know, means a lot to us that we have so many awesome guests that make these shows kind of, I think, another level of valuable to our audience to bring in more, you know, voices and commentary in the space. So with that said, guys, I'm going to wrap up the show here. Remember, if you want to see the trade alerts being shared inside the Discord, Frank is in this sell on gold, which looks incredible here today. If you guys would like to see all the trades that are being taken by Frank and by myself, please feel free to message us right now, and someone will give you a discount off of that. We're going to drop a link right now. If you click this link, it'll take you to a direct message center where you can ask for access to the VIP Discord. So thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Have a nice weekend. We'll see you back next time.
Thanks again for watching today's show. Our goal at A1 Trading is to continue to share free value to our audience through daily videos and articles, keeping you up to date with the latest market coverage. If you enjoy our content, make sure to subscribe for more. And if you create a new trading account with ACAP, you can get tools like the EDGEFINDER completely for free. Check the link in the description for more information. From all of us at A1 Trading, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.